Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to a weekly windup on Zwift Community Live. This is the show where we go over what's going on this week out on Zwift. On the show today, let's get right into what we are going to be covering. Zwift Android launches today for beta. Zwift Android. Big deal. A lot of hype out there right now about how to do it. We'll show you how to download the app actually today, as well as go through some live interaction with it, as well as some pre-recorded video of what it looks like. Zwift Academy has launched officially. We'll take a look at what the launch looked like, as well as talk about what's the Zwift Academy all about, how to sign up. Also, with the Tour de France coming up, we've got a Zwift virtual 3-week Grand Tour actually that's taking place with Dig Deep Coaching. It's a community coaching organization that's got involved, it looks like, to try and put together something that looks like trying to replicate the Tour de France actually for the 3-week Grand Tour. So as we get going here, let's go ahead and bring in our co-host Carissa Min. The admin is here with us today. Carissa, how's it going? Where are you located? I forget where you're located. You're on the East Coast.
Yes,
And
North Carolina.
Over in North Carolina. How's it going over in North Carolina? Weather's good?
It's hot. It's hot. I might be. It's a little tough to get motivated to get out there right now, but I know somewhere in this country somebody's got it worse. So, but yeah, I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm doing good. For those of you who would like to interact with Carissa and I, you can do so directly through social media. You can either at Z Community Live over on Twitter, or you can also communicate with us directly on Facebook. I am seeing a couple of your comments. If you have any questions, comments, anything that we are covering today that you would want to ask or that we're not getting to with the program, make sure to do so. I do see Simon Schofield on his way to Eurobike, I believe, saying, "Yo, dude, what's going on, Magner?" As well as Mary Owen and Jonathan Frederick. We do have the Mixer chat open as well. So good to see the Mixer people over in the chat right now with some communication going on. So if you do have any questions or comments over at Mixer, what is going on with Zwift? It looks like we actually have about 118 viewers going on over on Mixer right now. So real quickly, Zwift is a massive multiplayer online game in which people actually ride from their homes with their setups. So you do want to check out what Zwift is. Zwift.com is the place to look at it. We'll be looking at it a little bit throughout the program today, so you'll be able to see what it's all about, because a lot of you might be like, whoa, what is Zwift, if you are just tuning in over on Mixer. All right, so let's get right into the show today. The first thing that we're going to be chatting about is obviously the Zwift Android. Chris, did you get a chance to download it yet?
I did, and I took a look at it. I haven't ridden with it yet. I have it. Let's see if I can pull it up here.
So, okay, the first thing that I noticed in some of the groups, I don't know if you noticed this too, is some people were saying they were having a hard time finding it, it seemed like.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it gets buried underneath Zwift Companion and a couple other things. So
yeah, I thought so. Some people thought that it was country restrictions. I'm not sure if that was right.
Yeah.
I sent a link to some individuals to say, hey, look, here's what's going on here. And they were able to download it still. So what I did when I searched for it, if I searched just Zwift, so this is actually my phone, right? And if I searched just Zwift, it came up with a different with the Zwift Companion, and I didn't find it, right? And people were like, what the heck? But if I searched Zwift Beta, right? If you search Zwift Beta, bam, it shows up,
comes right up
right at the top. And I went ahead and installed it. There it is. So if you guys go ahead and switch, if you search Zwift Beta, this is what it's going to look like. You can actually see it's under health and fitness, similar. Thank you for trying the Zwift Beta for Android. Please send feedback to beta@zwift.com. So if you do have feedback on the app, make sure to send it on over to Zwift. They're looking for feedback on it. Again, this is a beta version of the app, and we'll go over some live interaction with it here, as well as some of the bugs that we found already. You didn't get a chance to get into it yet, though, right, Carissa?
No, I've just been watching. You could see the pairing screen up here. If you just watch, it seems to work fine for me. course, now it's going to take a while to load, but it
Why
looks
is it
good.
going
I'm
upside
impressed
down?
with it.
Looked like mine was upside down for a second there. Nope. Okay, we're good. Okay, we're good. There's yours. Oh,
So,
yours is running. You're like spectating
yep,
right now.
yep,
Hold
yep.
on a second. Let me get your full screen up here and see what that's
It's
looking
not
like for you.
loading the name of the Zwifter. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
So we are following R. Rodriguez at the moment.
gotcha. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So on mine here, you can see when I log in here, it gives you the, I've already signed in. You signed in like usual. You can change user and stuff,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. The other thing with this that I've noticed though was there were a couple of bugs that I do want to chat about here real quickly that I did find when I went over it earlier today. So let's see if I do have that pre-record video. So yeah, here's the pre-record video. When I logged in, the pairing through Bluetooth did take a little bit longer to find than I was used to, but I think it was because I just restarted my phone and it was still trying to figure out where the heck things were at with it. The other thing with the couple of bugs that I did find, again, we are in beta, so here you can see my hammer paired up like real quickly actually. Let's go ahead and see here. Is this the right video? Let's see, where is that here? Yeah, this should be right.
Now, one thing I should mention, it's also true with the iOS version. You need to have Bluetooth compatible devices in order to be able to pair them to Zwift on these mobile apps.
That's a really
So
good point.
I have an ANT plus only power meter on this bike. I'd have to switch out for another bike that has a Bluetooth power meter on it in order to use Zwift. So that's just something to keep in mind. Also, heart rate monitors. If you've got a Garmin heart rate strap, I don't think any of them have Bluetooth. So just something to keep in mind.
Oh, interesting. I think one of mine, I thought the ticker did, but anyways, I couldn't get it to pair.
Yeah, the ticker does.
The ticker
The
does.
Wahoo ticker.
Gotcha. But the Wahoo ticker does have Bluetooth, so I'm able to connect that one. But as you can see, I didn't connect heart rate. I didn't go find my heart rate earlier. But as you can see, the functionality here, all the camera angles were working fine. I was able to pick up a power up and use the power up while I was right from the screen. So everything that you see me doing on the screen is just from me tapping right on the screen. The functionality is actually really, really good with the Zwift Android beta from what I've seen so far. Now, there were a couple of things that were interesting. I couldn't give ride-ons. I kept on trying to give ride-ons. Can you try and do it on your screen right now? That's one thing that I saw.
I thought I did.
You thought you did? So I'm going to log in right now on my phone and see if I can on my live app here interact with any ride-ons at all. But I wasn't able to do any ride-ons.
Yeah, it
now,
works
you
for
can
me.
see the screens are all good. When it comes to the workouts are in place. You got the training plans in place. Fully functional, it seems like, from all of the regular app, actually. It's all in there. So looking through, trying to find if we got a couple of other things here. I went through and, running is in there, obviously, as you can see. So there is running as well. So if you do have anything to run with, all of your equipment that you're used to having is all in there as well. Let's see. I feel like I have two separate videos I'm looking through here, actually, and I need to find the right one. Here we go. I believe this is it. Yeah, here we go. So all the customizations are there. Obviously changing. Now, it looks like this page might be a little bit different, actually. I think there's a couple of things that are maybe a little bit different on this guy. But you can change from imperial to metric because everybody yells at me for that all the time. It looks really good, though.
It does. I was impressed.
I was super impressed with how good it actually looked. Patrick is asking, where is ERG mode? Yeah, ERG mode is in there in the workout screen. So you can find it. Here, I'll show you real quick here in the workout screen that I think I brought up earlier. Yeah, right here. It was at the bottom of this screen. That's where I found it.
I think there's been a bug with that recently where it doesn't show up sometimes. I don't know if that's going on in here or not.
I'm going to open up menu here and see if I can find workouts. And I'm not showing.
Yeah, because
Actually,
I
yeah,
don't
you're
have a
right.
trainer paired.
It's not showing. But my trainer's not paired.
But
But it was showing earlier. I swear I saw
right.
ERG. So it should be in your workout screen. Patrick, thanks a lot for the question there. I really appreciate it. But
And if
you
you
can.
can't find it, to bring up the menu, sorry, in the mobile app, you just tap on the screen and there's a little menu that pops up from at the bottom. And that should have, if you're riding with the Smart Trainer paired in workout mode, it should have a button that says erg mode and you can turn it on and off from there. So if you can't see it in the beginning menu for some reason, you can do it from there.
There you go.
So you can
There
see
you
that
go.
little menu popping up right there. Yeah.
The other thing, let's see, there was one other thing I did find a little bit later in the video here. We did find that texting had something interesting going on with it. So, as you can see right here, I'm like trying to say hello. So I go ahead and I click on that section and I go hi, and nothing. Watch, I go to push send and nothing happens. And then the second one, I go nope to try it again. And then the second one sends. Right? So here we see, there it is. Nope. Okay. So then I go, or, yep. And then I go push send again and nothing happens. So it's every other. And then I finally say, okay, every other. So it looks like there's some sort of situation where every other, at least now I'm on a Samsung Galaxy 8 Note. I'm on the Note 8. So maybe that's specific to the 8. I'm not sure. But that was one bug I did find. The other thing was some of the camera angles. It felt like were a little odd at times when it came to not the angle specifically, but when it came to observing, it felt like here. Let's go to angle 7. When I was coming through some of the sections, it seemed like angle 7 had like a default that it wasn't coming off of, where it was just panning by on the side continually. So those are the only things I could see, but it's beta, right? So get out there, test it, show them the issues. I think Ian Anderson was talking about a bug as well. Do you remember what that was? There was a bug, I think, out there.
I don't.
Something about being in some sort of a workout mode or an event mode or something, and it like crashed on him or something. So there's a couple that they're finding. That's the point of beta.
Yeah, yeah. There was something to do with going up on Box Hill, and when it does that zoom out camera effect at the top of Box Hill, something about it crashing there. So
Okay.
I don't
Gotcha.
know. But yeah, any problems like that, that's what they want to hear about.
Exactly. So if you when you do download it, there is an email in there. I think it was beta@zwift.com. Go ahead and send any of the crashes or anything that you do have on over to Zwift. And it's awesome though. I'm actually really excited. Let's talk about like how this helps though. Like what does this bring to the table when it comes to the beta? So this is actually let's see if I can bring in some live actually from my screen here. So this is actually what it looks like in a live environment. So now this is a little bit lower resolution because I'm sending it over USB right now to my computer, but this is me interacting with it in a live space. So I'm actually clicking on this right now. I'm trying to click that right on, and I actually can't click it. Now let's see if it's maybe just the note, because I could maybe click it through. I do have no, see, I can't click it even on the, because I have like a screen interacting thing, so I can go back to me, see, and I can do that with the screen interactor on my PC, because I can interact on my PC with my mobile with this screen share that I have, but I can't give ride-ons though, and I don't know what's up with that. So that's kind of interesting that I can't do that. So, but that's on the Note 8. That was one I was able to find there as well. But what does this change up for? I think like, I saw DC Rainmaker and Shane earlier talking about like no big deal. Maybe a little bit. Like, it's a big deal for everybody's been waiting for it, but maybe not like a game changer.
Right. I think the main thing it brings is, well, obviously portability. You don't have to bring a computer around anywhere. That's going to be especially useful for runners, I think, who are on Android versus iOS. Now they can go to any place, any gym with a treadmill and their foot pod, and just bring their mobile device and they're set to use Zwift. So that's great. I'm not sure you can see how tiny my phone is. I like small phones, so I get small phones, and I'm not sure how often I would use this to ride with. But I like that I have the option. I like that if I need it, it's there, and I like that I can log in and watch from anywhere, which is also something I like to do. Go around, get ride-ons, watch. So
So for me, being a multitasker, right? Like I'm a super multitasker while I'm riding on Zwift. I mean, here's a quick little example of what I'm talking about here. Yesterday, I did a little promo on, of Go Gara stuff. And this is the kind of stuff I'm up to while I'm riding Zwift, right? So I'm like doing a million different things here all at the same time, playing Overwatch and riding Zwift and like whatever. And you can see my setup there in the right-hand side, right? And so like, since I'm like multitasking, sometimes I play games and ride Zwift. Sometimes I'll like sit there and get work done. Like today I was actually getting some work done while riding Zwift, and I like having a lot of screens all doing a lot of different things and then having Zwift at the same time, especially if I'm using workout mode and the ERG is just making me do whatever I need to do for the day, or if it's just a chill ride and I'm not racing. Obviously if I'm racing, I want the big screen and all that stuff going on. But when it comes to like people who want to stream Zwift, people who want to multitask while they're Zwifting, people who want just a simple solution and not a whole lot of stuff and clutter even too. I think this is a great option for that, and I could see people using it for those kinds of situations. And for me personally, in this room, I'll probably actually use this screen capture situation that I got going on here to put my Zwift up, and so it frees up a whole screen, so I don't have to do more screen captures. So from a streaming standpoint, a lot of stream services now at this point as well have an ability to directly stream your phones and do mobile streaming. So I think this also opens up a lot of avenues for people who wanted to get into streaming and don't know how to set up OBS, or don't want to go through or don't have a setup that can handle streaming. They can just do it directly from their phone now. Now you could do that with iOS before as well, but this opens up, I think, a larger market for all that. So looking through here, so let's see. I think that's about it on the Android here. Let's see if there's any other questions that are coming through, and see if there's anything coming through here on Mixer. Nope, it looks like we just got 272. So for those of you who are wondering what Zwift is, this is what Zwift is. Massive multiplayer online game. They are all these riders that you're seeing nearby in the video are actual real people who are riding around me at this point. You can see the full functionality with ride-ons and everything there as well in the app. All right, next up though, the Zwift Academy launch. Zwift actually did a launch video that they did just the other day there. As you can see here, the video is interesting to see. I think these new promo videos, they've really it's kind of cool to see them almost like getting into the commercial sector, and they get better and better each time, it seems like to me. I don't know about you, Carissa, but it seems like each time they release a new video like this, I feel like it's this watching Zwift grow up a little bit. Not grow up, but like it just seems more pro and more pro and more pro every time they do something like this. They're creating like their own media space.
Right. I am impressed too, and I think I'm excited for this launch, and I think that it's a great opportunity, for the people who are going for the pro spot, but it's also great just for the everyday person, like this person in the video, who's just wanting to get fitter and challenge yourself and be with do it with a community of people who are all going through the same things together. It's a really great experience. So even if you're not aiming to be on Dimension Data or on Canyon SRAM and be a pro cyclist, it's still a great experience. And if you are, I mean, that's just an amazing chance that they're giving you.
So what's Carissa getting out here? What's this all about? Like Canyon SRAM, Dimension Data. I think a lot of people may be like, well, wait, what's Zwift Academy? How does this work? So, and even when I saw the launch, in my own mind, I almost forgot. And so, it's all about, like you said, the community of riders pushing each other on. But then I saw Cavendish there, and I saw Hannah Barnes there, and I was like, wait, what are they doing there? Oh yeah, if you win the Zwift Academy, you join their teams as a pro rider.
Right.
Like, that's what the whole thing is about. And that's actually probably super familiar to some of the gaming world, with the Gran Turismo Academy that got drivers to actually join professional driver teams. And that was where the concept actually, I think, originally was derived from, was this academy where you could online race. And in the Turismo Academy, they were like racing from their home with the on Gran Turismo with those like, you know, wheels that you can like drive with. It's kind of similar, obviously, with Zwift, where like you're riding a bike and competing with other people online, showing what you can do, and those who win get to jump onto a pro team. So the Zwift Academy launch happened. This is pictures from the launch over in London. Hannah Barnes, Mark Cavendish are there. As you can see, Ollie Jones there next to Mark Cavendish, winner of last year's Men's Zwift Academy. There's Hannah Barnes. And then it looked like Leah was there as well as Tanya. Leah was the 2016 winner, and Tanya was the 2017 winners of the Women's Zwift Academy, now on Canyon Tram. Eric, Minnie, and Tanya chatting there. So pretty cool to see. Has Nathan and Carissa signed up yet? No, I haven't. That is a great segue, though, Martin. I haven't signed up yet. Carissa, have you signed up yet? Carissa signed up.
Yes. I'm nervous. I'm nervous already.
What was that?
I said I'm nervous already.
Yeah, I don't think I completed mine last year. I was a bum. I was totally
Yeah. Yeah, you were.
I was a bum. I was a total bum. James knew actually on the Android. On the Android conversation there said, now this is interesting. I'm not sure I like the idea of an Android user being able to watch me Zwift from anywhere. Huh. So you mean like watch you Zwift like your real person or your avatar? It like freaks you out that they could watch your avatar? Like, what do you think about that, Carissa? Like, I know that's part of the GDPR thing a little bit, and like now people can just open up their phones. I mean, I got Zwift open right here, and but you can already do that, like from a
you can do that with a computer if you have Zwift installed. It's just a lot easier if you are not at that computer to be able to log in. And I usually will want to come in and see how a race is doing. If there's somebody I know who's online or a pro, go see what they're up to and give them a ride on and stuff. But I guess theoretically you could just, go to a random person and watch their data. That's the way they have it set up right now.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like the assumption when you log into Zwift is like you're in a massive multiplayer online world that interacts with other people. That's the reason why you ride Zwift. I guess if you don't want to interact with other people with your your power data and all that, like if you don't want the MMO experience, you can just not connect to the internet, right? Like you can just log in and ride Zwift not connected to the internet, I would think. Like I think you have to connect first to log in, but then you just can unattach your Wi-Fi to the app or go into airplane mode, I believe, and just I wonder if airplane mode's actually. Hold on a second. I wonder if that doesn't work.
I don't know about on the app.
Yeah, what about on the app? So I just turned on airplane mode. Let's actually see. It's a good question, James, actually. And I turned on airplane mode. Hold on, let's take a look here at my Zwift app here real quick. We're on Zwift Academy launch, but James got us back onto some other stuff here. And it looks like, actually, everybody disappears, and you're still able to ride. So if you want nobody to see your data.
Yeah.
James says, I'd be happier if they used iPhone. Wait, what? I'm not sure how I feel.
Something against the Android users now.
This is like an Android versus iPhone thing or something. That's interesting that it's because it's on Android. Now, the iPhone is out since last autumn, James. Yeah, so James knows that, though. I think James knows that.
Yeah.
But yeah, iPhone's been out for a long time. But if you do want to jump on Android now, you can do so. All right. So next up on the show, though, we've got. So we talked a little bit about what is going on with Swift Academy, your ability to join up with Swift Academy. You can register now. It is the launch looked pretty cool. If you do want to do so, you do want to sign up, you can head on over to Zwift.com/academy. Here is my browser. Here's what it looks like here. There's a women's academy, a men's academy, and then there's also this Zwift Academy Try. Do you have an explanation below here about what these are all about? Canyon SRAM Zwift Academy. Join this exceptional group of riders. Smash goals with new friends. We're a community of women that supports each other's goals, both on and off the bike. Register today. And the winner of the Zwift Academy, usually there's 10 finalists, then there's 3 finalists that go to a camp. They compete against each other, and then there's one that comes out of that camp of riding with Canyon SRAM that is the winner. At least that's how it went down years past. Then there's the Men's Academy. That's with Team Dimension Data. Ollie Jones was able to join up with their development team as a professional rider now, riding with them last year with 2017. Last year was the first year of that. And now there's this specialized Zwift Academy Try, which looks like it's closed right now because there's already been some finalists. We actually saw a live stream today from Zwift showing off what the Try Academy is about. Some interviews with the finalists that are part of that. And it looks like it's all about racing Kona, actually. Like every day, people will be able to jump into the academy and ride. Well, I don't know about every day. I think there's some qualification at a pretty high level to get to Kona, but it wasn't like it seemed like it was a little bit more open to trying to get their best time at Kona. Does that make sense? That's what it looked like to me, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't actually looked too much at this because I don't follow Try as much in general, but it's I'm trying to pull up the information now. I know that the focus is to get to Kona and to be training together. They're essentially sponsored by Zwift as part of winning the academy.
It looked like they actually had Tim Don actually on site there for the because he's one of the coaches, and Lucy Charles there as well. They're like team mentor and then a team coach. Tim, so they get professional coaching actually, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But you were part of the Canyon SRAM Women's Zwift Academy the last 2 years. What did you think of the program?
It was great. I loved it. It's a combination of structured workouts, group rides, and they added races last year. They'll probably do that again this year. And the great thing about it is that because of the way these workouts are set up, they're essentially tailored to your fitness level. So somebody who is in the running for one of these pro contracts can be doing the same workouts as somebody who's really just getting started, as long as you have a basic level of endurance and strength on the bike. And you're both suffering through those hard intervals and you're both feeling it the same way. And it's very communal. And I just loved the support and the advice that went along with being part of that community and really challenging yourself. And if you want to get fitter, this does that.
There seems like there's also kind of like, I know in the Men's Dimension Data, there was like spaces for interaction offline too. So there's like user experience that wasn't just, well, not offline, but it was online, but not in the game, right? So like, there's Facebook groups, there's Discord chats, there's spaces where people are interacting to encourage each other on how did it go, what's your Zwift Academy like, and the whole program then is this place where everybody's getting fit together, and then it's like this celebration of like, all right, who was able to do this at the highest possible level, and here's your top 10, and everybody completes it together, and then like watches to see who's going to end up being the pro at the end of the year.
Yeah. So then you get to root for people who you've been interacting with, depending on your time zone, throughout the competition. So you get to know these people, and then they're in the running for a pro contract, and they're racing in the pro races. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, way cool. Very, very cool. So Zwift Academy, if you're already out on Zwift, you know all about that, I would think, or at least have heard about it, and that is the gist there. So also, though, something that Carissa brought up actually this week that I was unaware of until just today is this Dig Deep coaching Dig Deep Coaching is putting on, it looks like, a tour. Let's see if I can find the link here real quick. I believe Chris has sent it on to me and I lost it, but let me grab this here. There, here we go. So, Dig Deep Coaching Grand Tour Virtual Tour. This is an interesting concept, actually. So let's go ahead and take a look here at this. This is their website, digdeepcoaching.com/GT2018. And what, so here, let's just read through it. I'll just read through it here real quick. In association with Zwift, the D Coaching 3-week Grand Tour is a Zwift virtual replication of the Tour de France, which will allow people to participate and understand the demands of what it's like to ride for 3 weeks over variances of intensity and durations. We have looked at each individual stage and devised workouts that are comparable to the effort which our actual riders will be taking on during the tour. So, okay. I think that needs some qualification. Like, wait a second. So effort which the actual riders will be taking on during a tour. I think, okay, so how did I say each of the stage workouts that comparable? So, okay, similar, comparable, used expert knowledge in many hours going through power data and stats from previous races to understand and approximate effort during critical times of each stage. So I think that's the thing. Is a lot of people I think will be like, wait a second, these guys are riding for like 5 hours. What are you talking about? This is like, it says right in there, 45 minutes to an hour and a half. You're not riding 5 hours a day on Zwift like like the guys who are in the Tour de France, right? Totally different.
Thank goodness.
Up front, is that what you thought, Carissa? Like up front, I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, it seemed like, I don't know, that seemed a little extreme. But then looking at it more, it's like, okay, they're talking about shorter rides. I think it specifies either on the website or on a post we saw about it that they would be around 45 minutes to an hour most days. And so that's definitely not the same level of effort. And, that's good because not a whole lot of people are trained for that, but it is a little bit different than the description.
Yeah, so approximate effort during critical time. So I think the idea is like, most of the time during the stages in the tour, you're getting to the mountain, you're getting to the sprint, you're getting to whatever it is. So I have a feeling you're going to be looking at a lot of sprint interval efforts on sprint days. You're going to be looking at like, okay, this is more of a puncher's route when it's got shorter climbs. Then it's like, okay, mountain climbs, you've got a 1 hour TT, or you've got, you know what I mean? You've got a few FTP efforts in there when it comes down to the mountain sections. And then what'd be cool is if they're going to actually create intervals that are so similar to each of the critical terrains or critical moments that it mixes it up so that you would be experiencing something similar to what these riders would be doing in the stage in the actual taking on of the terrain. So I did sign up. Signed up. I haven't received the email back yet. I'm wondering how, like, is this like a download of the workouts that you have to upload into your Zwift, or if it's in association with Zwift, is Zwift going to actually have the workouts in game and you can sign up for the virtual tour in game? It'd be cool if it's in game, and there's been a lot of partnerships in the past where you can just sign up for the workouts and it leads you through it. But there's also the ability to load workouts directly into Zwift through your My Documents, and then just find your workouts file and put them in there, and then you can find them right in Zwift. It'll be interesting to see which way that's going to go. Either way, it'll work. I just have a feeling the uptake will be a lot lower if it's not directly in app.
And that's what I'm wondering, because I think I'm going to look at my schedule now, because I think they might have scheduled it as group workout events, but I don't know if there's a way for you to complete it if they go ahead and give you workouts individually.
You see it as events?
I don't see it. I'm looking for it now.
Okay, gotcha.
But it's the way I signed up, and I got an email, but it doesn't have any of the actual workouts. It doesn't have many details. What I thought was interesting is that for each stage, and it's basically like you said, they define the role that you have. So on stage one, which is a flat stage, you're the sprinter. Stage two, you're in an early break. Stage three, for a time trial, you're a GC rider. So sorry, you don't get to soft pedal your way through the time trial to help your team leader.
I like that.
But
So this is actually, when it comes to the intensities, harder because the guy who's the support, he just has to make the time cut off. You just get to do the critical stuff every day. So it's almost like you're gonna be digging a hole. Like, this is gonna be
a lot of
serious. Well, we'll see what they do. There's probably some rest days in there, you would think. Maybe you get to play the domestique who gets dropped on a certain day and it's a rest day. We'll have to see how it ends up turning up. I haven't gotten the email yet. You got the email. So what does it say? No details? Not a whole lot?
Not a whole lot right now. Let's see. They're going to have some audio during some of these. So during some of the group workouts, not all of them, but I guess key stages, they'll have audio that helps guide you through it.
So if it says there's audio, then it's probably going to be events, because I don't think you can have audio loaded with a workout that you upload to My Documents, right? Like, I don't think that's possible. So it must be. That's a confirmation, I'm pretty sure, that it's going to be in the event. So if you do want to join the Grand Tour, what you'll have to do is look for the events. And let's see here. Can I join events from the Android app right here? That's interesting.
Yeah, it looks like they'll have some live streaming on the Dig Deep Coaching Facebook page and YouTube channel. So it is group workout events. That's what this will be. So, I mean, that sounds like a neat thing to do, especially if you do it at the same time as you're watching the tour, kind of multitasking a little bit.
That'd be way cool, actually. Like, if it's the day that you're actually watching and then you're doing the workout that day, that's a really cool idea, actually. So if I skip here, right, and I go, okay, sweet, and then on the right-hand side up there, you'll be able to see the events, and that's where you'll see them. For those of you that don't know how to join events, up on the upper right-hand side there, you'll be able to join the events, and you'll see these Grand Tour 2018 events from Dig Deep Coaching on those days, and you'll be able to join on that day what actual what the efforts are while you're watching the Tour de France. That's pretty cool, actually. I like that. And like sitting there being motivated by the effort you're watching your favorite rider do while they're in the middle of it, and then doing it in a group workout at the same time in a live space. Like, that's kind of cool. I like that.
I do too.
So
I'm not going to do it, but I like it.
I'm not gonna do it, but I like the idea. All right, so we're on the tour. That's what we're covering today. Those are the things going on here with the weekly wind-up. We talked about the Zwift Android app. If you weren't here for the whole live broadcast, you can go back and watch the VOD. We went through some of the things with the Zwift Android app that are happening here in beta. The Zwift Academy launch that happened just recently over in London. And then speaking of the tour, the Grand Tour, virtual Grand Tour that you can do for 3 weeks in Zwift, and it looks like it will be events that are happening in Zwift. Speaking of the tour, Carissa, all right, time to let me know who's going to win. Who's winning? Or even like all the jerseys, like what's going to happen? What's your predictions for the Tour de France? And chat, let me know what you think as well. What are your predictions for the Tour de France? Let me know what your, who do you think is going to take the yellow? Who's taking the green? King of the Mountains, maybe even too. If you got all that already figured out, throw it all in the chat. We'll let everybody know what your predictions are. But Chrissy, you got any?
I told somebody recently that I think maybe Chris Froome's a little tired of yellow. I would like to see him go after the green jersey and battle that out with Sagan. I think there was that.
No.
That's there was that one stage, and people always talk about him being a boring racer. I really don't think there was one stage in the tour. Was it 2 years ago? Yeah, because Sagan was kicked out for that one that we won't talk about. But
The one
they
where we just stopped
were
watching the Tour de France that year? No, I'm just kidding.
they they got away toward the end of a stage that was supposed to be a sprint stage, and Peter Sagan just went off on a break, and I don't even remember how it happened, but Chris Froome was up there with him, and they went to the line, and Froome actually sprinted for the win on that, and then Sagan was going to let his teammate have it, and then thought, no, I'm not letting Chris Froome beat me in a sprint. So then he went and beat him. But you would never see the yellow jersey. He was wearing yellow at the time and the green jersey in a break at the end of the stage, fighting it out for the win. I thought that was cool. So I think that it's a little more up in the air than a lot of people are thinking because Chris Froome and Tom Dumoulin have both done the Giro this year, the Giro d'Italia. So they're going to be really tired. Um, I
That's a
think
good
Richie
point,
Port looks
Carissa.
good.
That's a really good point, actually. That Volta, Giro, and then on top of that, the Tour de France, Dumoulin as well. I mean, I, I'm gonna put it out there. Richie Port for Wisco. That's what. And
Yeah,
people are like, what?
for
What are you
Wisco.
talking about? Richie Port for Wisconsin because BMC has connections locally here for us. So with Akowitz, we ride with them here. The family's from here, and so I'm rooting. Team BMC, Richie Port. I want to see Port come into his own in this. He's been playing domestique forever and looking for that leadership role. And I'm calling, and it might not be, it might be a longer shot, and people are like, whatever, no, not going to happen. But I remember, like, watching him work for Froome, the determination on that dude, on that guy's face, and the heart that I saw from him. I don't know. I think he wants it. We'll see what happens there. It's mainly just like a heart thing, though. You know what I mean? It's just like it's
Hmm.
not like I've looked at it. If I was absolutely like betting on it, like complete, like I don't know, dude. Froome's hard to bet against with his track record, right?
He is.
So
But he's tired. This is a way that we've never seen him in the tour before. And all of what he's been dealing with recently, I mean, that takes a toll on a person.
yeah, yeah. That's true.
I think
That's
it's going to
true.
be an open race. And my heart pick, um, I love what is now, okay, let me get their name right. Mitchelton Scott. That is the team name now, right? Because it used to be Orica Scott and it was Orca Green Edge and Orca
Oh,
Bike
gotcha.
Exchange
Yeah,
somewhere
yeah,
in
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
That okay. So Mitchelton Scott, they I just don't think they're bringing their strongest team, but I would love to see Adam Yates going for it the way his brother Simon did in the Giro d'Italia. So that would be my heart pick, I think.
Nice, 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 nice. There you go. There you go. Yeah, there's the comments coming through. Sky didn't go through all the legal crap for Froome to finish second. Yeah, I think he'll be extra motivated. I think Froome definitely likes some not vengeance, but like all right, I'll show
Mm-hmm.
you. I'll show you I can ride a bike, kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Like lets
Yes.
his legs speak, kind of a thing. So I think that will definitely come through a little bit. Sagan for the green jersey pick. I think Bardet will default to KOM. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I think
It's
you're you're
possible.
you're in for Sagan as well on the green jersey. He'll have some
Oh yeah.
competition.
Yeah, he will. But I mean, they've even tried to make it harder for him to get it, and he still got it. So I'm not sure what it's going to take. It's going to take a lot of people, I think, believing that they can challenge him. Sort of like the situation, with Chris Froome. It starts to look like this person's unbeatable, and it just takes the right people to keep, challenging it. But I can't root against Sagan. I can't.
it's against again another hard pick there. Well, that's a good bet
Yeah.
though too. That's a good bet as well as a good hard pick. So, real quick though, what was on this episode of Zwift Community Live? We had the Android release. This is me trying to save Android hype. As you can see, I'm saving my ride actually here. You can save directly from the app. So we did have the release of Android today, Android beta. It is the beta, so go ahead and download it if you are looking to use Zwift on Android. So there's that. We also had the Zwift Academy launch. If you haven't checked it out already, go and do so. Zwift.com/academy, and you will be able to sign up for the Zwift Academy. Try and get your pro contract to a team, or join a bunch of individuals out on Zwift, all pushing themselves to try and grab that, well, not grab that spot necessarily, but push themselves to get better in cycling as cyclists. And then there was also obviously the Dig Deep Coaching Grand Tour. So go sign up for that as well, and you can watch the Tour de France and ride the intensity efforts that you see throughout the race. Carissa, thanks for joining me on Zwift Community Live's Weekly Windup. Back next week?
Sure.
We're here.
You are.
We're here every week on Wednesdays, barring any kind of real life stuff. Every Wednesday we'll be here around 3 p.m. CST. Next week, CVR winner from the men's race will be on with us. Lionel Vudassen, I think I'm saying that right, will be on with us, coming out of Belgium. And then the week after that, I believe we're either going to be having the Chop Race organizer, or perhaps I believe it's Alex Welsh from the paracycling community jumping on with us. So every week, 3 p.m. CST, we are here on the Weekly Windup. Carissa, thanks a lot for joining me. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Nathan. Have a great 4th.
Yeah, you too. Happy 4th of July, everybody out there in the US of A. Cheers, everybody. And we'll make sure to tune in tomorrow morning for the Chop here on Zwift Community Live.
Zwift Academy is back for 2018. Together with Team Dimension Data and Canyon SRAM Racing, we'll make you a stronger rider for the road ahead. This year, the Academy is bigger and better. More workouts, more group rides, and more races. And more rewards to unlock. Get world-class training at home, geared to your ability. Everyone gets stronger, and the fastest male and female graduates get the chance to go pro.
Thanks to the technology and to the Zwift platform, we've been able to connect with people around the world and to realize their dreams of being a professional cyclist.
As a bike ride, it's changed my life of riding on the indoor trainer.
I think it's been really an incredible project that kind of came to fruition. Great promotion just for the sport itself.
Training doesn't only happen here. It happens here on Zwift, where regular Joes ride with pros. Last year, thousands of everyday cyclists graduated Zwift Academy with Tanya Arath and Ollie Jones winning pro contracts.
Zwift has changed my life. I'm living in another country. I'm living as a professional cyclist. Everything's changed.
Zwift Academy is not only about winning, it's more about pushing yourself, pushing your limits.
Join the Zwift Academy and create a fitter, faster version of you. No cars, no red lights, and nothing to slow you down. Want to ride with us? Register for the Zwift Academy today. Zwift Academy